Evening to all of you who are joining today's call. It's a pleasure to be able to talk to you and to think about getting you into your new job. And yes, we're going to spend 10-15 minutes every weekday over the next 3 weeks. So 15 sessions getting you into your new job. I'm delighted that you've been able to join me this morning, this afternoon, this evening, whatever is true for you. So we're going to be looking at things from career planning through to settling in. More specifically, career planning, CVs, tracking spreadsheet, application document. You'll see what I mean by those as we go through. Searching, applying, and then we get into the part of the process which is controlled by the company. Online tests, recorded video interviews, phone interviews, video interviews that are live, face-to-face interviews, assessment centres, final interviews, sometimes called partner interviews, accepting the offer, that's worth thinking about as well, and finally settling into the new job. So that's what we're going to be talking about over the next 3 weeks. And I'm going to be using the years of experience that I've had of coaching people into new jobs through that whole convoluted process to actually getting the job offer and settling into the job. And yes, I've also been working through IBM over the last 35 years, helping people to develop themselves, thinking about new positions, improving their CVs and so on. So I've got 5 years of doing this specifically and 35 years of doing it generally. So this video is obviously live and it will be available after the recording on Facebook, and I plan to put it onto YouTube as well. So let's get started. Session number 1, career planning. What do you want to do? Start with the end in mind and then everything else fits together. It's the first question you need to ask yourself before you apply, obviously. Even before you start creating your CV, it's the thing to think about before you start that, because you may well be able to tailor your CV to suit the job that you're looking for. You don't have to decide on just one career direction. You can try 3 or 4. I once coached somebody who had 5 different ideas. You'll see what happens over time. You'll probably start to focus in one area rather than the others as you get into the process. How do we decide then? How do we decide on that 1 or 2 or 4 or 5? Well, think about your interests. Think about your studies. It's possible that you can go into a job with any degree. There are some companies that accept any degree for their recruitment process, but others, they expect, for example, a STEM subject. They expect a financial subject. They expect a management subject. So have a think about what you might want to do based on your studies, which I assume were based on your interests, so they should align. Think about the values that you bring to the job. There's probably no point in applying for being a city trader if your value focuses on making a real difference in the world. You may be better in an NGO. Similarly, if your maths is not so good, you probably don't want to be applying for accountancy. Just basic ideas. And that relates to your abilities as well as your values. What do your family and friends think? They can often be good sources of suggestions. Read job adverts. Read job adverts of different types of job and think, yeah, I might be interested in that, or no, that's not really me. And remember that you are trying to link your skills, your experience, your interests, your values to a particular job or a range of jobs. You will also find a number of websites available which help you to identify the things that you might want to do. So, for example, there's a great website, 16personalities.com. It's a Myers-Briggs test website. You may have heard of Myers-Briggs. If you haven't, it's worth looking it up. Go to 16personalities.com. That's 16personalities.com. Once you've identified what sort of person you are, you will find a list of job areas, career areas that may apply to somebody like you. It's obviously generic, but it's also sometimes quite penetrating. So have a look at that website. It's one I'm particularly keen on. Prospects.ac.uk. It identifies and helps you identify your skills and interests. Indeed.com, it's a job aggregator website, an agency website. They provide career advice. They identify must-haves for particular types of jobs. There's others like read.co.uk, another aggregator that gives you suggestions. So have a look around the web and see what's available to help you to make decisions. So, actions out of our first call. If you don't know what you want to do yet, the first thing is don't worry, okay? Many people are in your situation as you come to the end of your studies and start to think about jobs. Many people are in your situation, so don't worry. Just take the time to think. At least identify what you don't want to do. That's a really strong step forward, even if you know what you don't want to do. Try those websites I mentioned. Look around, explore different ideas with friends, family, with your studies, with your values, all those sorts of things. Use them to help you to decide. And identify a few options. Don't force yourself to be tied down to one. Think about a few options, and then we can move forward with them. So those are the actions that come out of today's sessions. Stop, think, plan, focus on 1, 2, 3, maybe even 5 options, and start to explore them in more detail. So, what are we doing tomorrow? Tomorrow we'll start to consider your CV. We'll only spend a few minutes on that. We could spend 15 sessions just on your CV. But we'll talk about CVs in overview and things to think about as you work on your CV. Maybe create it for the first time. Certainly develop it and redevelop it for looking for a, shall we say, a real job as you come out of your studies. So that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow. Hope you've enjoyed today. Look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you. Bye.